as we are now moving into Haven, the last and final map of this best out of 3 between Cloud9 and Immortals, with Immortals here on the attacker side.
Now we'll talk a little bit about the agent selection as we obviously unravel, seeing some Phoenixes, seeing some Omens, but I'm also seeing Relyks get a little bit aggressive. Tenz will only find 1 frag for the 2 that fall, and now it's the man advantage for Immortals. They're going to start to push forward. The A site is where they want to go, and it's Shinobi who's on the Omen this time around. Early pick goes for him. That's the paranoia that comes through, but they have a paranoia of their own. All he needs to do is try to teleport forward, and he doesn't get there in time. Slow orb from Mitch to try to delay the plant, but it's still the spike that ends up going down, and now here comes the retake.
Still doable right now because only 10 HP is Jcstani. He does put the dark cover, so even adds up to the crossfire that they could do here from Hell and from this cubby, with a third person just lurking back towards the sewers. And what a play! A wall to come up so that each player can look on left and right, so they clear the 50-50 together, and Genghsta is on his own. But the wall, oh no, it doesn't fully close, so Genghsta is able to swing around and dance around the wall, get 2 headshots, and clutch it for the Immortals.
That was a great play there from Cloud9 to put that wall up, and we've seen Mitch do the same thing before. If he's the last member on his site, he will throw up a wall for one of the sides, so he can just focus primarily on, you know, an angle that he doesn't have to cover. You know, if it's on the C side, he'll put the wall up and towards garage and focus on some of the members that may be coming in from long, or the opposite, put the wall up for long and focus on the firefight in the garage. And in that case, putting the wall up to separate the player from the right side allows for a couple of easy picks, but then at the end of the day, it's still Immortals who are really feeling themselves. We talked about that confidence from Asuna, but it's really the rest of the team as well that are in the zone, ready to close out the last and final map. So now, Immortals looking for another A-side hit. We do have Genghsta, who's at least trying to scout out what the C-side looks like. I think he does come up relatively empty-handed. And now it's Asuna going to start to lead that charge. Doesn't have any utility left either. He bought the Phantom, so no curveball, no wall, no hot hands. They're just going to have to rely on some of these dry peaks.
Everybody now from the Immortals walking back towards the seaside, and they want to be as quiet as they can because we are in the eyes of Mitch that if he hears the footsteps, he could call an early rotation. But at this point, now if they run here for the Immortals, it's going to be too late right now for the rotation to come in. They will make it into the site, so you will see Cloud9 moving in with pistols on a post-plant situation. So even they're playing it safe for the Immortals. They put the recon guard into the site, the camera on top of that to watch its spawn side. It's already been broken. But right now, on paper, I like to say that on paper, it should be Immortals round because we've seen nothing really but classics going on for Team Cloud9.
Still will at least try to make it expensive for the side of Immortals, and so far the setup looks like they're trying to push in through the garage, push in from the alleyway from spawn. Nothing's really going their way quite yet, but still determined. Tenz on the opposite side, ready to get involved, and unfortunately he's the last member standing in the garage. And for Immortals, don't really think they have any need to check it. There's going to be one player that's coming in through the window, but it's Genghsta. We'll send him down to the graveyard. A 2-0 start here for Immortals, and you know, we talk about stats, we talk about a map like Haven, we also talk about it being a little bit more favored towards the attack. So while the pistol and the round that followed does go to the side of Immortals, I expect many more to come their way. And maybe for Cloud9, they're picking the defense first to say, okay, how many can we stop Immortals from getting? That's kind of the name of the game. Because once they go to attack, they're banking on the fact we're winning the pistol and we're snowballing that into a map close. We'll see if that actually works out, but that's what I think their reasoning or logic might be.
So with this gun round, glass cannon for Tenz, connect onto Jcstani, but Relyks push forward. Tenz goes for a second one as Asuna was able to get that trade back onto Relyks before. So an early one-person advantage in favor of Cloud9. They're falling back and turning back inside the site and just playing the right angles. They put the trap wires from the Cypher towards this B side and also towards Garage. Even a camera now that's going to really help in terms of trying to get information. Actually, the camera I think is on the attacker side if I'm mistaken. But if they actually try to move towards B or the Garage, the trap wire is going to get broken off, and they could see that on the minimap and call the rotation early so they could adapt on this right now for Cloud9. So a nice way to start on the attacker side, and that trap wire looking to get broken inside Garage now.
Odd hands to at least try to clear things up, and now Mitch, I like this wall. It gives himself cover as well, and I think Immortals hear that, and so they say, okay,
yeah.
They don't even bother to check Garage. They'll just plant on towards this B site, but Tenz is there. He's got the shot. It'll go right through the flames, but Dicey's on the opposite side. Paranoid to try to give him some space, and he'll be quickly traded out. A clean round here for Cloud9, or at least a relatively clean round, and it was off the back of some great pushes forward on Banana from Tenz. Just peeks with the op, finds everything that he needs in Asuna. While it does get the refrag, Tenz was still able to lurk around with the op and find yet one more 3 on the round on that B site.
Yeah, it was definitely played off the play of Asuna. So kind of Tenz took the advantage of the blaze wall that was thrown up, because as soon as a trap wire gets tripped over, well, he sees the shadow through the blaze wall and he just goes, or the silhouette rather, through the blaze wall, and he just gets that shot, making it harder for the attackers to get into the site. And Tenz wants to continue to prevent Asuna from getting entries like this, so he's already opening it up onto the Garage side, to take down Asuna. While Tenz is still looking back as he gets the first kill, rotated back before, goes back into position. And again, it's going to be Cloud9, 1-man advantage, and a tough beat for Immortals to try to split into C now, because already you see that spike inside that C cubby. They are looking for this entry, and it's going to be Tenz. He misses a shot, wow. And not fast enough was Dicey on the reaction, so they had to fall back from that.
I like this angle now that he's got set up. They do have one player that's in the cubby, so they need to be careful. Oh, unfortunately has to reload the clip. There is going to be one member. It's Mitch that blocks himself off, so he can't even help Tenz. He does manage to find one frag, but at what point does that really not bode well for them? It's now. There's 2 players remaining for Cloud9. It's a 2v3, still doable as they try to push in. Relyks gonna hope that the hot hands just raise the push in from the box, but it's Dicey holding that angle. Vice gonna find one. There is gonna be one that's trying to peek in from the garage window and try to make their way through the alleyway. Oh, perfect timing. But the tailwind, it's reset. He did find 2 on the round. Has to pick up the up. Knows once there's around the corner. It's going to be Koler and finds the frag. Now down to the 1v1. Smokes are down. Spike is ticking. Needs to get the defuse cooking. But the cloudbursts are just trying to get Dicey within range and pops through. And the blades will find their mark. Immortals winning yet another round, and now for Cloud9, likely down to the pistol, weaponry, economy, not looking so good, but a very close round nonetheless.
What a nice try, though, at least from Vice, almost punishing Koler that was trying to push him onto that flank. If I was Koler at that point and I heard the footsteps and the shots, I know he's close. Let's fall back. You have the spike that's carried. Why put it into a 1 versus 1 situation at that point? I guess he really wanted to get the frag and make sure that Vice, maybe with due time, doesn't save that operator into the next. But it came down to that 1 versus 1, and thankfully Dicey, a Dicey play, is able to manage to get those kills as he comes out of his own cloudbursts to get the kill with the Blade Storm. So that was a close call, almost a clutch coming in from Vice. But it's still going to be the Immortals taking a round here, with them once again looking to take control on this C side, with now you had the Phoenix working towards that garage and everybody else towards that long C. One watching the flank, of course. So they seem to be committed towards the C side, Simo. Oh, this is good. I don't know if you saw it from the minimap, but you did have the omen here from Shinobi going towards the corner of the platform. He's in a good spot.
Yeah, still going to be the push in that comes in for Immortals. Mitch has a great setup there. Mitch is just constantly holding that angle that pushes in towards Asuna, trying to support, but it's the wall that goes up. But still Immortals to win the gun duels that they need. What is happening? But now, just down to one final player, it's Relyks, has the Phantom in hand. But really, what can he do now at this point? It's a 1v3. There's going to be one player playing back of plat, and he sees that. The shots are going to start to ring through, and he's going to set up a wall to give him a little bit more space to work with. Going to clear those angles. That wall's good, but still there's going to be players to the left. It's Jcstani. He's going to take out Relyks. what a play there from Immortals. Cloud9, I thought they had it. Mitch finds 2 early picks, and then after that, it just somehow falls apart.
Yeah, that was so good, actually, from how Immortals regained their control onto that map. Because of those 2 picks was all thanks to the start of Shinobi with that paranoia that allowed Mitch to wide swing and get 2 kills. But because of that, Mitch also put a wall up, which made Asuna inside the garage spam the wall. But as he spammed the walls and runs out of bullets, they know from timing that they should try to come in and kill him because he's going to be forced on a reload. But from then on, C-Long decided to push up. So communication was definitely there for the Immortals. They got those 2 kills, and then finally they catch the 3rd one off guard by the logs to take the site. So what a way to turn around over for the Immortals. An eco coming in for Cloud9 into this round. They get 1 kill from Tenz, who pushed aggressively down towards his mid at the beginning of the round and had the nice sweet shot in the window side. Almost 2 kills actually. While the rest of them are now working towards this B and A. Everybody dropping with the pistols. No more kills as of yet for Cloud9. So technically should be the round coming in for the Immortals to make it 5-1.
Yeah, Koler now just going to have that camera up. It gets destroyed. 1 player, it's Mitch, going up towards heaven. And Jcstani just blindly pushing and shooting through the smoke. Koler is going to hit those shots through the wood there. And Immortals, they've got this 4-round lead. You know, as I was saying earlier for Cloud9, probably the most important thing for them is to get as many rounds as they can. They've got a lot of ultimates available. This could be a great opportunity to knock down that economy, which, to be quite honest, for Immortals, it's good, but it's not at a point that you can, you know, you can take them down. You know, if you win a couple of rounds, you could really put them into a pistol situation, and that could guarantee you a round almost. So we'll see how Cloud9 uses a lot of these ultimates that they have available. And early looks here from Relyks. He's playing aggressively with Mitch, ready for the cross. Now that's the run it back, though. Just try to at least push in and try to find some of these refrags. It's a trade, and unfortunately, Mitch loses his life. And now Relyks, last member standing, has to swing, has the wall up as well to give him a little more safety. He's just in a really tough spot. But Tenz, he's got the op, and he's looking down long to make sure that he can at least try to help out Relyks in this scenario. If they peek, if they swing, they can help him out. That's Relyks with 1. There's still 1 more to Koler. It's Twice. He will take him out. Now Koler, after finally forcing Relyks out of that sticky situation, it's down to the 2v3. Too many bodies lost for Immortals. Let's see if they can salvage this round by pushing now towards this A site.
Vice still low HP though for Cloud9. Both of them for the Immortals. For Koler is trying to move here with Genghsta towards this mid-side window. The crossfire is set up, though, perfect for Cloud9 to take this round, but they are able to drop silently at least. If they go for this double peek, kind of like what we saw from Cloud9 on the pistol, this would be really good here, but it's going to be Vice that's a little bit too antsy. He gets picked off. They don't know that somebody's on the right side, though. The spray comes through, and Shinobi gets the last 2 kills, and a desperate round that they needed, they get it for Cloud9.
And look at that. They used, what, 3 out of their 4 ultimates that round. From the shadows,
yes, to get it.
They used run it back. I wasn't really paying attention to Shinobi, where he ended up after he used that. But they used all of the tools on their tool belt to make sure that they won that round. And so for Immortals, they still have the economy to really play. But as you can see, it's at its last limbs. Jcstani with 300, Dicey with 600, and Asuna with 300. So if Cloud9 can shut them out for 1 more round, they can find great success and try to keep things within 2 by the end of the half.
Man, how many times are we seeing Immortals trying to work towards the C side, Simo? It's been pretty much at the beginning of every round. They seem to know some sort of weakness, and it seems as though we're able to adapt though from Cloud9 because the Frostburn came in, but a trade comes across. Mitch is still alive inside the site. We're trying to get a close range. Oh my god, an operator shot, but he still stays alive by putting a wall up, waiting for his teammates to rotate, but he's so far behind on this big flank here with Vice. They are closing in, they waste enough time, but Vice did get a kill, so they know the flank is coming at that point. But he still gets the kill. It's going to be a 1 versus 1. He's moving up here. He does have the camera. He's going to spawn it towards the back. He's going to hear it at least. That he's going to get planted towards that back. So we have committed for the plant. The camera is up. The pre-fired shot knows now he's on the right side of the site. On the other end, though, Genghsta still gets the headshot into 3K. He got dinked on top of that, dude.
Yeah, that was so close. Mitch, if he just held on just a little bit, just held on for just a little bit. He might have had enough time for Vice to come in with the flank, but unfortunately it was difficult. And, you know, for Dicey, he had the updraft, what, twice? He looked up twice there to try to gather that information. It ends up working out, but still expensive for Immortals. And while they do win the round, the economy is still close. This is an opportunity here for Immortals to build that economy back up. But considering how many rounds are left, there is at least one more round within the next 4 that Cloud9 could put Immortals back down to a pistol. So while they are on the eco themselves, let's see how expensive they can make it for Immortals to at least try and claw through a couple of these rounds that remain.
Man, imagine if you had a Vandal, though, on that 1 versus 1. It would have been a different story there for Cloud9, but unfortunately with the Phantom, the dink is not enough for the kill. And it's the moment of salvation there for Immortals to get that clutch for Genghsta. But this round, an eco coming through for Cloud9 with 4 players pushing towards the back of the site. At this point, this is like the 10th time, or at least the 9th time, that they're running inside the C side, because I remember the pistol happened towards the A side at least. But now it's just Jcstani and Asuna just swarming towards the back of the site. One more to fall towards the garage ramp. We do have that 7-2 scoreline where this gun round that comes in. I have a feeling it's going to be like, okay, how many times do they run towards C? Let's try to stack it, and then it's going to be the round where Immortals goes A.
Well, it looks like from the round ahead, Cloud9's not stacking, but we're just going to have a look at Asuna. Just, like, it's so weird. Like, he, like, looks to the left as he's preparing for another shot. Like, it's I don't know what's going on there, but he's cooking it up. He's finding frags left and right. But to be honest, he's at the bottom of the board. And while that could mean, oh, Asuna sucks. Oh, wow, he's not getting frags. No, it's just the whole team really stepping up. Dicey, who we saw had maybe not the greatest performance on Ascent. It was Asuna really picking it up. And so now, looking forward, it's Jcstani. He's calling the shots, and he's leading, and so is Shinobi. He's got some plays of his own up on the box. Makes it rain and finds 2 headshots, but it's the paranoia that gives Shinobi the opportunity to at least spray down the clone, and that will dissipate the rest of Immortals now. Well, actually, it's just Genghsta. He's going to be working his way up through the Stewards. He's going to try to pick up that spike, but the rest of his team is falling all around him. All his friends are dead. There's going to be Genghsta that pushes Shinobi to the edge. Now the last member standing, 29 HP, but he's in a 1v3. 50 seconds left on the clock. Has a lot of time to work with. But for Cloud9, all they need to do is just play cat and mouse, really tease him. And it's the jumping classic from Tenz that'll send Genghsta down. Cloud9 put another one on the board. And we've got 2 more left here, Vansilli, for the end of the half.
So there you go. Immortals finally saying, hey, let's try to go A, as we've rushed so many times towards this C side. But like you said here, Simo, Cloud9 did not bite the bait. They still played a 2 inside the site, 2 inside A, and pretty much a passive B. And it was all thanks to Shinobi going with the shadow step on the top of the boxes of sewers and able to get the 2 first kill for the trade-off. And then the 2 second ones from just playing a great spot from the default, right? Get the 2 kills, fall back, and don't really try to go for those jiggle peaks. Just go jumping information and then try to counter back. But from as he hears to run it back, that was the audible call for him to throw that paranoia to help get those 2 kills out of 2 more kills out of 5 to almost get the ace. So a great round by Shinobi. A lot of people are heckling him because of his scoreline, but when he's got to step up, he does it for sure.
Well, Immortals, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And so as you see Cloud9 also stacking towards this C site, Immortals, they're ready for yet another push. Paranoia is probably going to be set up, and it's just going to be business as usual. That's going to be a great collateral, though, from Tenz. Sends them packing. Still the Hunter's Fury. Going to tag Mitch down. Genghsta will find Vice. But at this point, C will not work out. Tenz is locking it down. And so for Immortals, they're going to try their hand at going towards this B site maybe. They've got some utility that is still left. The camera for Koler to at least check things out. Maybe some utility from Asuna, or sorry, not Asuna's gone. Sorry, I mean from Genghsta and from Jcstani to at least give them a little bit more setup towards this B site. Now as they come in, the sprays are good. Mitch swings, he'll be taken out quite handily, but it's Genghsta now down to 33 HP. Somehow they're still keeping this in competition down to the 2v2. Unfortunately for Immortals, the HP bars are low. Now, Cloud9 forced to push in. Tenz with the shorty, has to go aerial, down to the 1v1. and it's just down to Tenz versus Genghsta. That's the op shot. It's good, and that will be the defuse. Now Tenz with 4 on the round. When his team needed him most, he came up big.
Shinobi with the 4K, Tenz with the 4K. They're trying to pull up their pants and say, guys, we need to bring this back here on the second half. We took what side we were comfortable with, which was defender side, and it was looking to be one-sided for the Immortals. But what 2 great plays from 2 players of Cloud9 to put them back on the map. And especially with Tenz, the collateral kill at the beginning was huge, but also the way that he played that retake inside the B site, a 2 versus 2. There were actually all 4 players on low HP, and he had to react quick. If he missed that shot in the front B versus Genghsta, it was over. Genghsta top fragging for the Immortals. He's feeling himself as well on this attacker side, so he definitely needed to land a shot. Speaking of Tenz on that 1 versus 1. So well done at this point. And not this time they were trying to stack towards C again, where Tenz was waiting for him. Like, okay, well, now C's not going to work anymore. Let's try to go back towards A. But the thing is, Tenz is waiting there on the top of heaven, and even a run it back from Relyks is going to give enough information knowing that they are going for a split towards A, so the cheat is coming soon on that rotation.
Wow. Yes, Tenz. He's going to hold down this A side while the rest of his team start to come forward, and eventually he will fall, and Jcstani will even the odds. It's down to the 3v3. The rest of Cloud9, off the back of Tenz's successful play, now have to deal with a little bit of an even footing. It's the resurrection that comes through. Dicey looking to maybe get a little bit more involved, but now the man advantage actually works out. They don't fight for the res. They'll let it happen. Now it comes through. The Dice and Slice will not work out here for Dicey. Vice will take him out. They'll push forward. Genghsta, last man standing. Relyks gonna push forward and try to take him out. He's stuck in the corner. 3 fire shots. Will they work out? It's the op shot that sends him packing, but the knives that seal the deal. And Cloud9 finish off with a 7-5 half in favor of Immortals. They at least keep it within 2. And now as Cloud9 move on to the attack, Vansilli, this is the favorable side. And so for Immortals to have a good start, they need to win this pistol.
I still have to say a nice try for Dicey with what he was trying to do there on that Blade Storm on the attempt of the retake of Cloud9. So he threw a Cloud Burst. I think he made a footstep to do it on purpose so that he fakes it so that they think that he ran towards Hell, but then walked back towards that same cubby. And because of that, thought that he would have the element of surprise. The only thing is, he didn't know there was actually going to be 2 players in the back of that blaze wall, so the right click did not come into their favor. And because of that, the numbers advantage was just too big right now for Genghsta to try to clutch a 3 versus 1, where the spike wasn't really planted for him at that point, and he's also stuck in a corner along A. Very difficult to play. But you gotta give it for Cloud9 to be able to come back with 3 rounds in a row to make it 7-5. A pistol round here on the attacker side, and it seems as though Cloud9 are going to try to do the same thing out of Immortals' playbook, with the exception that the pistol is going to be rushing towards the C side and not A, and they still get the opener onto Koler.
Yeah, and this is a great start as well. It forces Immortals into the retake. And because they had so many resources developed towards this A site, I think they had Dicey and Genghsta. It's a lot of members that now have to funnel back through and make their way over here. So now that Cloud9, they're ready, it's Genghsta. Wait a second! Wait a second! Hold on! One quick minute. What? I am speechless. Genghsta looks into the sky, lines up with a pixel, shock darts are sent flying, and he finds 2. Is that correct, or did he swing with the shock dart? Because I'm at a loss for words now.
It's good enough to at least put 2 on the board and help the guys retake for the Immortals. I mean, it was, what, 5 instantaneous deaths for Cloud9 at that point, and maybe it shows now, Simo, the reason why Immortals decides to choose this map and put it in their favor, because they have somebody like Genghsta that actually practices these arrows that get a lot of Shark Dart kills. We've seen that actually from the past too, where he could get someone to the default from the A link onto the default boxes. So that's something that they have to consider now, and something that Shinobi hasn't really done much in terms of when they were playing this map as Shinobi with the Sova, which is why you see the agent composition change a bit now, trying to use something that's going to help a bit more like a flash in their favor. But Immortals using this Sova to the right of its abilities on this map.
Immortals desperately, maybe not so desperately, but winning the pistol puts them in a very great position now to at least once Cloud9 starts rolling, they could at least keep things in contention once we get to those double digits. So very important for that pistol to go their way. And it initially started out with a great pick onto Koler from Cloud9. So now looking at this round, there's a great pick down long that takes Tenz out of the conversation. And, you know, you may think it's just a pistol, but Tenz can sometimes keep things relatively close. So the round ahead is Genghsta. He's got those arrows, and Dicey, he's got those bulldog shots. All they need is a little luck and a good recon bolt, and they will seal the deal there on the fate of Cloud9. So the first 2 rounds, of course, going to Immortals. This is the gun round that we expect Cloud9 to win. We'll see if that ends up being the case. And for Immortals, they're just trying to save that if Cloud9 do win, they can at least try to buy some weaponry in the round to follow.
Bonus round pretty much here for Genghsta and company of the Immortals, as he called it here, Simo. It's going to be a small shield as well for Relyks, because that's the only thing he can afford to get to make sure that he's able to afford a Vandal into this round, and a much passive play. Actually, moving as a group, very passive in a sense that they're not really watching pushes, right? They don't have anybody watching long. They don't have anybody watching long C or long A. They really just want to commit for a default, probably wall up and plant inside B. But it starts off with Tenz pushing through, and through the smoke, he gets the kill onto Jcstani, and actually the wall goes all the way up towards Link. This is a different way to play it right now on a B take for Cloud9. And Mitch now falling back, barrel of guns peeking out, as they line up 2 with Vice playing from the window side. Mitch gets the kill as well. And this is looking good for Cloud9 to finally get a good defensive round, or attacking round, on this side.
So I like that wall. I'll break it down as well. They had 2 members from the defensive side that were really holding down Garage and the C side. It was Koler and Asuna. They were going to push in from the Garage, and Cloud9 were ready for it. We've got the wall up. Banana and the funnel from that to go towards the courtyard window. That's clear. Let's just push in towards this Garage, and let's see who comes forward. They know their limits, and they play within it for Cloud9. So there's a great execute towards the B side, and they just gave Tenz so much space to play, right? They pushed forward, and they allowed him to just do his thing that he does best, which is kill enemies. So now in the round ahead, this is where Immortals may likely have some weaponry that they can work with, but it's not ideal. Or it may not be as close to ideal as they'd like. So another passive play setup in Cloud9. They're like, hey, B worked. Let's run it back.
This time it's a different position, though. Oh, no! He whistles shot, but at least he retaliates and is able to aim it back, rather, to get the kill onto Tenz. Now you do have the Hunter Superior coming back from the Link. Genghsta gets the kill with that. Jcstani still in the back of the site and still alive. They get the spike plant at least, though, and now he's going to put the dark cover towards that front. We're going to see a lot of spray and pray happening from these 2 players right now from the front side of Cloud9, and the same thing retaliated from the Immortals, and it's going to be a 1-for-1, at least for now. The defuse comes through, and Dicey gets the kill. So it's another B take, but this time not defended by Cloud9, as Immortals take the lead by 4.
Okay, let's have a look at the round ahead. Tenz purchasing the operator, and so what that tells me is that they're going to be looking towards this A site. I mean, they could look towards C as well, but Tenz wants to fight for control. And so Dicey, on the opposite side, has the op as well. This opening op duel, okay, well, it's actually not going to happen anymore because they're pulling off of this A site. Instead, Tenz is going to look towards B and decide to take the duel there. Unfortunately for Immortals, no one's going to peek that. No one's going to even look. Cyber Cage going out makes Immortals think that they might be going in through the sewers, and so as a result, there's a lot of question marks. Where are the players? Where are they? When will we see them appear? There's also a smoke in the middle. Tenz is there, while the rest of the team is working their way up towards C. And we'll see how these things end up going. He actually switches back to the Phantom. Maybe he did that last second, I'm not quite sure. But see how Cloud9 are preparing for the C push.
Well, at least for the Immortals, they seem prepared. They already have a crossfire set up from Koler and from Asuna. As Jcstani is on the top of the boxes, he does have a crossfire from A-Link as well. They know it's at least going to happen towards B or A, so they are gambling everything here. Actually, they do have the operator, or at least the Jet, still alive towards the banana along A. Now Tenz opens it up towards this B site on his own. B site is now clear, close on our rotation. 33 HP for Tenz, looking to fall back, but he cannot get a heal because Mitch has fallen. He at least get a spike towards C, so he did his job to actually sell that bait. And on that 4 versus 2, you see the last 2 players just not moving. They're going to save their weapons into the next.
That was a great play there from Cloud9, and even with the recon bolt that they got spotted out, they just really let Tenz do Tenz things, and he goes in, he finds 2, and even with Asuna taken out through the smoke, I don't actually recall how he got spotted. I think there was a firefight from Cloud9 also pushing in towards C-Link as well. So just a great approach to the attacker side there, and now they will likely get that spike for free. Spike down, of course, it'll explode, and for Immortals, they're just looking for any of those potential exit picks. So it does look like there was no op on the round. They were thinking about dueling Dicey towards that A site, but then Shinobi likely made the call, nah, let's not do that. Let's play mid, let's work our way through, and then let's go towards this C site after.
So right now, when you're looking at the duel list for both teams, I think it's normal to see them both at the bottom of the scoreboard right now, because as defense, I think for Relyks, there was a lot of situations where you had to play the retake towards the C side, always rotating over. When you play at a numbers disadvantage, it's tough to play the retake game. This round here for Asuna, playing towards the B garage side, and probably Relyks was playing that same spot. When you're looking at it, yes, they've aggressed towards the C side, but they never really tried to push inside to take control of garage too. So they really tried to avoid those duelists and just go for basically 3-man pushes towards C, split towards A side, and really not give a chance for the duelist to get the first blood. So I like how they're changing the strategies for both of these teams to try to adapt to not get the heavy fraggers technically on paper on this map, because they're playing as the Phoenix to not get these kills.
And in certain instances, it's all about conditioning, making your opponent believe that something's going to happen. And for a while, Immortals thought that there was going to be the B push, and they're selling that idea constantly with those smokes and with some of that utility. But Cloud9, they want this A site. Relyks, he's going to find 1, but it's Koler with 3. He sends them packing, and then Dicey with the collateral. Immortals, they're 1 away from match point.
Still money in the bank for Cloud9 with the exception of Mitch.
Here.
What will they do with this? You still have Tenz going with the operator. And Mitch at this point will probably have to go with some sort of armor and pistol, or a small armor and Spectre. Oh, it's going to be a Guardian instead. Okay. So this is going to be interesting. I have a feeling he got that drop there for one of his teammates. So he shouldn't have enough money to buy all of that. And it's going to be a tough round. All the eggs in this basket for Cloud9 to try to stay alive in this game. If they lose this one here, it's going to be low money, another broken buy to try to bring this into overtime.
That's tough. Considering how close Immortals is to finishing off this best of 3, the pressure's on. And Cloud9 might be feeling it now. They don't want to be out of this tournament, and neither do Immortals. So it really looks... it's the feelers that have been sent out towards this C side, and Tenz holding down that angle. Smoke, of course, going to be dropped here, who I believe may be Shinobi, maybe Jcstani. We have no way of knowing. But it may have been actually Shinobi setting up a little bit more of a close-range fight. Now the paranoia comes through. Koler finds 1 to stop. Koler finds 2. Asuna finds 2. There's just so many bodies on the ground, and it's just down to Mitch. Resurrection comes through. It's the even battle. That's the wall, too. Dicey can't finish off the kill, and they back away. Now it's the 2v2. 30 seconds left on the clock. Where does Cloud9 go?
What a clutch play there for Mitch, at least for now. And he picks up the orb on top of that, too. They are booking it towards this A side, where you still have Dicey. He's still holding towards his C. I don't know if he popped out his Blade Storm, but I feel that he should. And the same thing for Tenz at this point, because it's a tense moment. They're running inside the site now. They're going to be able to get the spike down at least. We do have Dicey. You saw it through the X-ray, running on the top of the Heaven side, but you still have Genghsta. If Chalk Darts actually get landed towards the default spot, if he has some left, that could do some damage, and they could have a good retake here. But it seems as though with nothing being thrown, he probably ran out of it. And they're both going to try to go from this spawn side. And I'm wondering if they're just waiting a bit. Yeah, they were waiting a bit because they had the recon dart. They were waiting for that too. Bladestorm has been popped out. The off shot missed by Tenz, and they both hold their angles. And Tenz and Mitch get simultaneous kills, and they stay alive in this matchup versus Immortals.
Very important round for them to win. Once we have a look at the scoreboard, it'll tell us a little bit of a bigger picture story. And for Immortals, economy is still good, but it's starting to get bad. And so considering how many rounds we have left, 5 to be exact, including this one, Cloud9 have a chance. And considering the, their credits don't look that good either, sorry. And it's just close. It's just so close. And look, it's been back and forth for 6 rounds in a row. That's gotta hurt economy-wise. It's 1,900 for one, 3,000 for the other. Somebody's gotta break even at some point. And if it's not Cloud9, then Immortals walk away with the victory.
Camera taken out.
Seems as though it's going to be some sort of a fake here, Simo. The guys are still looking to commit towards this long C, but the spike dropped intentionally towards the window side with Vice and Mitch working for any type of pushes on the A side themselves. Run it back from the B side. They're not going to get any information out of this. So Asuna is not going to see anybody long C. He's not going to see anybody long A. So they're still running into the dark. And they're probably going to call this. They're going to force that rotation through just because of that. Especially as Shinobi gets 2 kills. Look at that. They've already rotated out. They've taken a site. But actually, the spike is going to move back towards the C side because why not? Everybody is alive in the site on top of that. So it's going to be an open plant technically right now for
No more
Cloud9.
charges left.
I honestly feel like that might have been off of the information play from Asuna's run it back. He used it to gather information, but Cloud9 used it to say, okay, we haven't been in contact with the clone. He's clearing mid. Let's push up C. Let's clear this out, and let's take the site. Unfortunately, Koler, first point of contact, doesn't survive. Asuna, second point of contact, peeks from the garage, does not survive either. And then Jcstani, he's like, okay, now I gotta get involved. Peeks in from Link, he also gets taken out. And so, very unfortunate for Immortals. Mitch, though, is gonna be in contact with some of these players that are trying to save some of the weaponry themselves. Mitch may opt in to take the stairs, and it will be Relyks who joins with him. He's just going to provide some of that firepower. Does see one of the barrels of the weapons. And now as they start to try to come through, Relyks is going to find one. Maybe looking to try to spray. Dicey will quickly trade it. And unfortunately, time runs out. He will save that weapon. And for Immortals, economy is not good. Cloud9 have the opportunity to put us within double digits. We'll see if they are capable of doing that. Relyks, as you can see, also doesn't really have a whole lot that he can work with. But fortunately for him, I think he might get a drop, or may just still opt in for the SMG. He's one away from the run it back, so he might try to play close. He might try to push forward, and we'll see what he ends up doing. Immortals are going to stack towards this long side, and Relyks is going to see them on the opposite side, but it's the smoke that allows him to back off.
Yeah, thankfully for the dark cover that came from the attackers, that saved them a little bit too to be able to fall back unscathed on his forced buy for the Immortals. But what I was trying to say in that previous round is that run it back. Actually, let's talk about it after. Tenz coming in, updraft, classic kill. The rest of them rotating now from the heaven side. A wall's going to come up too. Going to be very difficult to retake now for the Immortals. We have the Sheriff shots coming across. They are going to call it out as Dicey gets 2 kills in the dark cover with 2 headshots. Twice then gets the kill onto Jcstani. Gets flashed. That's going to be Dicey to finally get stopped by Shinobi. And it's a 2 versus 2. But a big flag by Koler gets the frag onto Shinobi. The last one to go. They have no information yet. Vice is in the corner and a tight spot towards the sewers. He looks down. A 1 versus 1. Hat is out of the bag. And it's now going to be the last person spotted inside the site. We're now pinging the spike. We have that tap. We have the wide swing. And Vice clutches it there for Asuna. And for Cloud9, they managed to make it 1 point away from making it 11-11.
And so for them, look at the economy. It's good. They've got the momentum now to at least take us to overtime. On the opposite side for Immortals, if they lose this round, that could throw the entire map into jeopardy. They desperately need this round. And I mean, both teams need this round. The economy is just so close, but Cloud9 have started to inch forward. Going to be very interesting to see how this next round unfolds. Very important for both these teams. Their livelihood in this tournament. Dicey, a new look towards his usual peek down banana. He pushes forward through the sewers for Cloud9. They're looking to do their best Immortals impersonation and run it down C. So far, it looks like it's a 5-stack with Tenz just gathering information with the updraft. Koler crouches masterfully behind Black. And now that's going to be Relyks, I think, gathering information. He will see that there's Koler in the back site. Relyks going to try to clear things out with run it back. So far, it's 1 kill on the money, and he's picked out by Wood. Asuna with 2. He can still hold on as they're on the site, but now start to back off. They don't want anything to deal with this. Koler with another. Tenz and Shinobi, the last one standing. Now it's down to the Omen. He's on the retreat, but in a 1v4, things seem impossible. Immortals might bring us, not might, they will bring us to match and series point.
But it seems as though Shinobi's still committed to try to do something here. So he's going to throw a dark cover to start things off, and he's even walking in front of it. So I wonder if he's going to throw another dark cover, maybe shadow step into the site, or throw another dark cover and then just fake a shadow step so they can try to get some entries. But he eats a couple of shock darts, and Genghsta's still winning. Read him like a book. And gets the headshot, and we will seal the deal for the map point and series point for the Immortals, 12-10. The money, it's going to be good right now for Cloud9 because Tenz has 8K. Definitely going to be able to buy and drop for Relyks, but the idea is, will he have enough if he wants to go for an operator and a rifle for Relyks? That is not going to be the case because he buys the op and only has 2,500 left. And we're going to see if there's going to be a rebuy. No, they're going to buy a Bulldog instead for Relyks. So let's see if they can get it done now.
Oh, they actually swap over. They give Relyks the weapon, and I think Shinobi ends up with the Bulldog. Dicey looking towards here with the op, goes down to 89 HP and then retreats. That gives Immortals a lot of information. I think there was, what, 3 there? Maybe 2 that they were able to see. And so as a result, you see the stack now from Immortals. Jcstani and company prepared to defend this A-side push, but it's just Cloud9 gathering information, working their way up. And normally you see them work their way up quite well. That Owl Drone's going to spot out one, tags another, and sees Tenz down banana. Look at Immortals now. They're going to likely start to pull off. But yeah, like you said, a lot of information gathered. But with 50 or so seconds left on the clock, they need to act quick because time is starting to run out.
And it seemed to go towards a site that has been working for them a bit here on the attacker side, and that's B. While they still have Relyks lurking towards the sewers, the spike is still making his way there. Oh, I wonder if it's going to be that type of strategy that we've seen before. Maybe a wall up on the left side and a split from A link to C. But this time you don't have Vice to actually help him out. That is Mitch on that mid side. So it's going to be a commitment from Long, A, and Sewers, but still a 3-man stack for the Immortals inside the A side. There goes that dark cover. So it does happen. They are trying to sell that fake towards mid. It doesn't work out as Mitch falls, but now the footsteps are coming through towards his A side. Jcstani repositioning himself through the smoke as a tripwire gets initiated. Not a trapwire, sorry, it was a recon arrow. And now Relyks trying to stay alive. There's only 6 seconds left. Now 4 seconds. He's off the spike. And now he's going to try to spike it right now. He has to go for the kill. They're playing the time, and off the time, it's going to be the Immortals winning the series versus Cloud9, 13-10 on the third.